Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce. Joyce, we're doing an emergency pod.
They're here.
The ballots are out. I got the page open.
Voting has begun
If you're an Emmy voter and you're watching this on Thursday, which is the day we're recording it, you could go vote.
until June 26th.
Can't wait. I'm so psyched, Joyce. These ballots are
I
great.
I know a handful of Emmy voters, so they're only eligible to vote in the program categories. So
okay. Well, we're not allowed to tell. I guess I don't want to Francis Fisher this, but hopefully they watch and take these notes. Take notes.
they are. I mean, like they are in the industry. Well, one of them is an industry.
Sure.
Yes. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe offline we could talk about that. But Joyce, the ballots are here. You've got about. You said, I think, did you go into another browser? Or are you in Firefox and Chrome at the moment?
Oh yeah, I have multiple tabs, browsers. It's like way too much happening right now.
So we're going to break down this by genre: comedy first, then drama, then limited series. Because comedy, Joyce, big news.
And unfortunate news too for people.
If you are a fringe contender in the actor and actress categories, I got tough news. There's only going to be 5 lead actor nominees and lead actress nominees, and only 7 supporting actor and actress nominees. Explain why.
Yeah, going down. They're losing one slot.
Yes. Why did they lose the slot?
Because they didn't meet the thresholds. Is the proportional rule. The number of slots depend on the number of submissions, except for comedy series and drama series, which are fixed at 8 slots, no matter what. But this year, comedy actor only had 68 submissions, and actress only had 76, and you need 81 to trigger 6 slots. So they missed. They also do parity for corresponding categories. So if let's say one of those, let's say lead actor hit 81 and lead actress didn't, they would both still get 6 because one of them hit 81,
Right.
And then in supporting, you need more than 240 to get 8 slots. So you need 241 to get 8. And this is how painful it is, because in supporting actor comedy, they only had 239. So they were too shy.
Oh.
And supporting actress was 202. So
wow. With so many shows and so many supporting actors. And I feel like they could have just shook the couch cushion a little more and gotten a couple more.
Yeah, or someone could have just self-submitted, paid the fee, however much it is, like $200, submit yourself. So, because obviously not all of these are submitted by the studio / network.
Right.
Yeah.
So broadly, I would say for comedy actor, we've talked about this a lot.
That's now it's gonna be the easiest category.
We said there were 5, and then there was a 6 that could have been Jason Segel for Shrinking, or Donald Glover, or Nicholas Hoult. And now none of those people will potentially get in, and it seems like the top 5 is pretty locked in, that we've said for most of the season.
Yeah, Jeremy Allen White, Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, and the Martins. Right. So I think it would be very shocking if any of them missed now, although I guess there's obviously a chance for that to happen.
There is, and it would be a huge shock though, and it would be a very fun Emmy nominations morning if we had a massive snub or surprise in that category. It doesn't seem like we would.
Yeah, who do you think would be the most likely to get snubbed of those 5 then?
I don't really want. I mean, maybe Bill Hader. I don't know. I just was like, I don't think so though. I have him in 3rd, but I just don't imagine a world where Jeremy Allen White, Jason Sudeikis, and the Martins would get snubbed. So I guess Bill would be it, but I don't think he'll get snubbed either. So I'm not predicting it. But what do you think?
I think it could end up being one of the Martins, because we've seen that before. Remember when Kerry Washington got in instead of Reese, or Little Fires Everywhere, or only one of Reese or Jennifer Aniston could get in for the morning show. They can't get in together. So I think it could be that with them. And I think I guess the flip side is you would argue you wouldn't nominate one of them without the other, but I think maybe you might too. I don't know, because I think it's hard when you're seen as a package and the other 3 are individuals.
I definitely agree with what you're saying, but I just think it's almost, how do you pick one beside above the other?
I think that's just personal preference, and also that is it's not the oldest show because The Bear is older because it premiered last June, but it's coming back and it's hot.
Right.
But like Ted and Barry have been more recent, and one of them definitively finished, the other probably finished.
Right.
And like Only Murders is not coming back until August. So I feel like right now it's kind of like it's, you know, kind of quiet buzz-wise, or we don't even have a trailer yet for it.
No,
so.
nothing. I mean, I don't know. I have right
I
now.
mean, I'm not predicting any of them to be snubbed.
No.
I'm just dropping my Nicholas Hoult from the sixth.
And I dropped Jason Segel. I have if I had to guess, I would say maybe for season 2, I would probably if it was going to drop one of the Martins, I would say Steve.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, like you said, no chance I'm going to predict that. I'm just keeping this top 5 solid.
No, I'm not. We're probably not going to talk about this category too much for the next month.
Not until the nominations. On the flip side, comedy actress now I think is like really tough.
That's really hard.
That was already a tough category where you had at least, I don't know, I would say like 10 different actresses who could get in maybe, or like could stake a claim to potentially getting in. And now I don't know what to say, but I'm like, I had Elle Fanning in for The Great. I dropped her. I kept Selena Gomez, but it definitely makes it harder for someone like Selena Gomez to get in.
You're just never going to drop Selena because
nope, Selena-ators.
You don't want to catch the strays.
I'm with you. Selena-ators, let's go. But I don't know. This is now really tough because I think like Natasha Lyonne could certainly get in, obviously. Elle Fanning could get in. Selena Gomez, Bridget Everett, I think, like you mentioned, is like a really probably strong contender for a passionate, small but passionate fan base, right? I guess.
Yeah, and on a restricted ballot now, so she doesn't need the visibility that, you know, like a Jenna Ortega has with Wednesday.
Do you think so? I have like right now I still have I have Rachel Brosnahan, Quinta Brunson, Christina Applegate, Jenna Ortega, and Selena Gomez. But if you told me that Christina Applegate and Jenna Ortega and Selena Gomez, none of them got nominated, I would be like, okay, like it would not surprise me if all 3 of them missed somehow.
I think the lockiest person here is Quinta, and then Rachel.
Yes.
I feel pretty good about Christina because she has shown that she is individually strong.
Yeah.
So that's my top 3. And then I think I'm gonna do Jenna and Natasha and sadly drop Elle because I'm also getting rid of Nick.
Right. So. I think without the other is kind of hard. So
I mean, it can happen. It's different categories, but yeah, I don't know. And
I mean, Natasha could definitely get in. Natasha could also get in for directing, which we'll talk about later, I guess.
And writing.
And writing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stick with Selena Gomez, but I think what you're saying about Only Murders being a little quiet is true. I mean, I don't know. They've done like a good job keeping the show out there, but it definitely has the least amount of buzz of these other shows.
Yeah, and she's already missed last year.
Right.
On an unlimited ballot with 6 slots.
If I'm gonna drop Selena in the last minute,
no one can come for you.
If I do it right at the end, it would be probably for Natasha, because I do think even though Peacock has not shown strength as a streamer thus far, I think this show is maybe different and certainly very high profile, and they've done a great job of keeping it in the conversation. We're recording right now.
Yeah,
it's their top show. But I mean, she's on the cover. She's got the actors on actors right now with Melanie Linsky, her old friend. So it's like Natasha's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like we have seen already that the industry likes that show.
Yes.
So, and it has a lot of actors in it too. So I think something else that might also hurt Selena is that she is one of 3 leads on her show.
Mm-hmm.
And like all of these other people we're talking about, like they're either the star, like the sole lead, or a co-lead with one other person, or an auteur like Quinta, like that's an ensemble show, but she's the brains behind it.
Right.
You know,
I mean, you're convincing me to switch, but I'm not doing it just yet. I'm just gonna hold on. I'm holding on tight to Selena Gomez in the 5th slot, but it definitely seems like a much harder much harder path now with only 5.
Yeah. Really tough. So,
It's
but
also tough for now the supporting categories, which were loaded here with a ton of contenders and now have one less spot. So for supporting actors, we talked all year, that was a pretty set 8. It's Sheryl Lee Ralph, Hannah Waddingham, Iowa DeBerry, Janelle James, Alex Borstein, Juno Temple, and Sarah Goldberg. That's the top 8, and Lisa Ann Walter, right? That was the top 8 in our odds.
yeah, now one of them will not make it.
So I dropped
make it.
I dropped Juno.
I've thought about dropping her, but I feel like, I don't know, I think like voters probably still love Ted, and even though her arc this season wasn't the best, I think like people do like her.
I guess the positive for her too would be she had one episode that was really like focused on her, and the characters has some good moments in the last 2 episodes, and it's fun and reminds you of what you liked about it in the second season. That would be my take, because she has that, like, isn't the penultimate episode is Mom City, and she has the big thing with like they're going with Jamie right to his mom, I believe. That's all in that episode.
Yeah, they're stalking him. So.
And then in the finale, she gets like the last moment, like the Roy Jamie, like, I'm just gonna go at it myself kind of moment.
She chooses herself. I choose me.
And so I feel like based on that, she could get in. I mean, if I had to drop, if Juno gets in, I think Sarah Goldberg would miss because she missed last year.
Yeah, but I think like she would help or be helped the most by the restricted ballot.
Exactly. That's why I kept her in. But I don't like, I think Lisa Ann Walters would get in. I think Abbott is like, I think the actors like that show, and why wouldn't she get in? So like, who would you drop then?
I don't know. Like, I think because I have Juno in 8th currently. Right. So I'm like, it'll be easiest to just get rid of her.
Right.
I guess like Lisa could miss if they're just solely still on Sheryl and Janelle.
Lisa would be, for Lisa to get in, it would mean that the show is like, even on a restricted ballot, they really love the show, right? And they're paying attention to the show.
Yeah, I mean, we already know the actors love it. Like, it overperformed last year in acting. It won SAG Ensemble.
Right. So that's why I think she would get it. I think for Sarah, like you said, like the restricted ballot certainly would help her more so than last year. But also, I don't know. Ted has obviously shown they like more historically than Barry, right? Or recent history.
Yeah, and because I don't think anyone else is missing, like Sheryl, Janelle, Hannah, or Alex.
It would be very hard to imagine any of them missing, especially because of the material they all had in this last season, right? Like, I mean, like Alex is awesome in the final season of Maisel, like Janelle's still crushing it. Io rules on the Bear. All these actors are great. I think to me, it would be between Sarah and Juno. I don't know. I'm going to stick with Sarah because of the restricted ballot, but if she misses, I would not be shocked at all.
Yeah, I guess this will really be a test of how they feel about this season of Ted, which, has been polarizing.
Yes.
But I can see them just still being in love with it and, just checking off their usual suspects still. But 100%. I think if Juno ends up missing, I think maybe and depending on how everything else shakes out in their categories, like it might be a sign of how they feel about it. But actors are also usually the slowest to pick up on things or catch up on things.
And like we said, the thing with Ted is like the parts are all, it's a great,
like it's like great, like 2-minute scenes.
Great parts. If it was Succession, it would be what did Mattson call ATN or Waystar? Great parts.
Oh, it's like good parts, and where he's like built. He's just refurbishing the parts, but yes, yeah,
part shop. That is a very dismissive thing to say about Waystar, but like that is this show for Ted season 3. The parts are still great. Like everybody individually likes these parts, and the season itself maybe didn't coalesce in the way that fans had previously liked. Though a lot of people did like it, honestly.
Yeah, there are some
So,
visitors have no issues with it at all.
so it makes sense that she would stick around. Even if it was a strong season, if it was a strong season, I think she would absolutely stick around. But you can't deny that she's not in as much as she was in season 2.
No, and then her storyline also wasn't that great. So I guess it's also like, are you thinking about that, or are you thinking that's more a consequence of the writing?
Right. And also or do you just not care because you like her and like the show and you're just going to put her in? And Sarah Goldberg already missed. So it would be like, maybe, is it like pushing a boulder up a hill to get her back in for this time?
Or you could just be like, I can't believe Sarah Goldberg did not get in last year.
And I got to make sure she
gets in.
Definitely
voting for her this year.
Right. Who knows? That's going to be tough, though. I do think Lisa Ann Walter is like, not in pen, but I'm like, she's a little darker shade of pencil to me on the ballot than the other two.
Do you think like any other underdog can make it in here?
So if they go crazy for shrinking, I would say Jessica Williams, but she was definitely hurt by this 8th slot being eliminated. I think she's so good on shrinking, and they've really done a good job promoting shrinking, certainly. Like, it's not the main Apple show. Obviously, that's Ted, but like, they've done a really solid shrinking
it's
job.
Supposed to be the Ted successor.
And it's a good show, and it remains something that I think people liked a lot. And like we said, like, it came out in January, and I think that helps because people have probably watched it or remember
it helps
enough
to be older.
Yeah, and I think that would help her. So I think if there was an upset here that's not Sarah, like if 2 of these people miss between like Lisa Ann, Sarah, and Juno, then Jessica Williams maybe would get in one of those slots, in the 7th slot. She's so good. It's like undeniable that she's great on the show. I just think that like it's just too crowded of a category for her again without 8 slots.
Yeah, so she is, I guess, in 9th right now, and then Cecily Strong for SNL is in 10th.
Right.
I don't think SNL's gonna be in here this year. And then Molly Shannon for the other 2 is in 11th. She's great. The whole season's not eligible, but I don't think, sadly, it's gonna crack many categories or any. And yeah, Jane Krakowski for Schmigadoon is after her.
Yeah.
So, you know, she has her big number of bells and whistles in the 3rd episode. But yeah, I think like Shrinking is a stronger show than Schmigadoon.
Yeah, like I still have Shrinking getting in for series. I think it could. Yeah. And I think it's like, we didn't do series, but like I have Wednesday in still in my 7th slot and then Shrinking in 8th. The other 6 are like the obvious 6. And I was like, I think Poker Face has a real chance to get in, but I could see Shrinking maybe getting in overall a series, because I think Poker Face, you have the issue of some episodes people might like more than others, and maybe as a show as a whole, it doesn't kind of coalesce, but on an individual basis, again, it really does. I don't know.
They're both January shows, so
right. That is going to be a tough category. And supporting actor in comedy, again, another 7 makes it pretty tough.
Am I gonna have to finally drop Stephen Root?
So you might have to drop Stephen Root, and I dropped Edmund Moss Backrack for The Bear, but I don't really know if that. I just want to leave Phil Dunster in there. But I mean, Phil Dunster, again, another like not a long shot, but like,
well, he's never been nominated.
And hope-dicted contender, right? Maybe
he was the best part of the season, so it's. I think if he had been nominated previously, like Leslie, he had gotten in season 1 and missed last year, I think probably most people would have him by now, but he's just never gotten in before. The other he's campaigning, like he's probably gone the hardest with campaigning of everyone this season. So
absolutely been everywhere. And like we said, I mean, like I still think, I mean, Brett Goldstein, I think would absolutely get nominated. I really think he should probably, I mean, he definitely think he could win again. And most of Phil's scenes are with Brett. So that to me helps him as well, right? Like he's in so much of this season with Brett. But yeah, I don't know that category. So I have like him as my wild card basically. And then the top 6 are Nick Tyler, James Williams, Brett Goldstein, Henry Winkler, Anthony Carrigan, Harrison Ford, and Tony Shalhoub. 7th in the odds is Nick Mohammed for Ted Lasso, previous nominee. I would be pretty surprised if he gets in for this season.
But again, he could if they're just slow to go off of something or someone.
And if you liked the season, maybe you liked the Nate arc. I will say that Nick Mohammed in all the interviews after the Ted finale, I thought was like really acquitted himself well. I thought all of his like, he's a very thoughtful actor, and he actually kind of discussed the Nate arc and like certain things.
Well, I think also for him, obviously, this is not his first time thinking about the character, because he had like over a year to prep and film for it. So I think, you know, generally, I'm no actor, but generally actors speak about like they need to be on their character side or like find a way to defend them. Even if
I guess I was surprised because I'm like, a lot of times people wouldn't like, he was like, it's not like these interviews that I read, like was like Vulture and Deadline, not like they were super contentious, but like definitely like we're like, people don't like Nate and didn't love this arc, and he had like good response. I just found those interviews like really
I think like he's obviously had a lot of time to think about it, and this is his way of getting into the character and the way he was written this season.
Right.
So
he could get in then. So he was 7th, Eben Moss Backrack 8th, Bowen Yang 9th, and Phil Dunster 10th. That's the top 10.
I mean, I have Steven in 8, so if I drop him, I would have Brett, Tyler, Anthony, Henry, Tony, Eben, and Chris Perfetti.
It feels weird not having Eben in there because I think they love The Bear.
And it's premiering next week.
So if I'm gonna, but I just don't want to drop any of these other people. I just refuse.
I mean, I still don't even have Harrison Ford, because I was gonna be like, I'll add Harrison Ford on July 11th, and I'm like, well, one fewer spot now.
I still think Harrison would get in, but I guess he could also miss because it's a new show. But so is The Bear. But I mean, The Bear is more like than Shrinking, I think. I don't know. This is
like
tough.
Shrinking doesn't have any footprint, and I also think he's just kind of it's not unwarranted, but I think he's also over predicted because he's Harrison Ford. I think he's great on the show. Like, he's fucking hilarious.
He's really good. He's a lot better on the show, Joyce, than he is in Dial of Destiny, which we saw last night.
I thought it was fine.
Well,
very long.
Not my fave. I gotta say, not my fave. But I don't think I'll hold that against Harrison Ford in nominating him, because the movie comes out after the nominated ballot, after the window is closed, which is another help, I would say. So,
yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, like Shrinking is obviously untested. The Bear has already won a bunch of stuff.
Right. No, I mean, I would not, again, like, I think Evan will get in, but I took him out because I was like, I'm not taking Phil Dunster out, and I'm not taking Harrison Ford out.
I know, I don't even have Phil in, so
I don't know. This category is a wacky one. And again, like we said, like a lot of people, like Stephen Root, I think has a legitimate shot to get in. I still think he does.
I know, but there's one fewer spot.
I know.
So it's like, I could also draw Chris Perfetti, who I've had there since the beginning.
I took Chris Perfetti out just because I was like, I just don't think it'll extend all the way for Abbott, especially with 7 slots on a restricted ballot. I also was wondering about James Marsden for jury duty, who's really coming on strong with the promo.
Yeah, he's also been campaigning. It'll be great.
People love the show.
He would have a great tape.
And also a great year for him, because he had Dead to Me, jury duty, and he was really funny on Party Down, playing like not himself, but like an actor.
So sidebar on the ballot for performers, one of my favorite things is to look at the headshots.
Sure. Yes, we were talking about this. Tell me about these comedy headshots.
Well, just all the headshots in general.
Okay.
But some performers like James, they have multiple projects, so they're submitted more than once, and a lot of times the actors just use the same headshots, or whoever submitted them. It's probably some assistant at their firm or like the studio or whatever. It's like the same headshot. So it made me laugh because James is on the ballot for supporting actor for jury duty and Dead to Me, obviously, with different photos, and he's right after Ken Marino, another double submission, and Ken Marino used the same photo.
It's great.
Yeah, and so you just see who made the effort to change it up. It was also great because Martin Starr, another Party Downer, he's on a ballot 3 times. He used 3 different photos. for all of his submissions. Harrison Ford also had 2 different photos for 1923 and Shrinking. Jennifer Coolidge, one of my faves, she's on the ballot 3 times, 3 different photos, but they're all from the same event, the Golden Globes this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I love that Martin Starr used his Party Down headshot for Party Down.
yeah, that was great. Yeah, it's perfect. You know, because some of them are just like, oh, the other thing was Jennifer Garner, another Party Downer.
Yes.
She's on there twice, also for Last Thing You Told Me. Same photo for both. They use her Instagram profile photo.
It's awesome. I love this so much.
And then Jeremy Renner is on there for Mayor of Kingstown. They used his Twitter photo.
I love this so much.
Yeah.
I love these shows. I'm like, Party Down. There's just too many shows. There's too many good shows. So this is a tough category. Just, do you want to do
Yes.
the guests did not change. There's still 6.
There's still 6.
And-
yeah. Oh, so speaking of photos,
Yeah.
guest actor Fred Armisen is on there twice. He's the first name on it, and it's technically 2 different photos, but it's the same photo because one of them is just cropped closer.
It's amazing.
I really appreciate that effort. So
I love this so much. Oh, it's so good. Nothing really changed in those categories, and I still have like the same people I've kind of had.
I need to I think I'm gonna have to end up adding Quinta for SNL.
Oh, nice.
Actor. Well,
Yeah.
because like Lauren Weedham was not submitted
Right.
for Abbott Elementary.
Right.
So I'm running out of options here.
Right. In the comedy writing categories, and I guess we'll do writing first and then directing. Let me find the page. Too many
Sure.
tabs, Joyce.
So writing is 6 slots.
So Abbott Elementary submitted 3
Mhm.
right off the bat. Ted Lasso just 1.
The finale.
The Bear just 1. Barry just 2.
Mhm.
Which of the Barrys do you like? It's a Nice Meal and the series finale.
They're both great. A Nice Meal is the one with the rocket,
Right.
and the Fast and the Furious combo.
Right.
Which is, Bill wrote the finale, of course. I would vote for both, but if only one were to get in, I would do the finale.
So in theory, this will be Ted for the finale.
Yes. So writing, Ted has #1 writing.
Right. So they just did the 1. It's assuming nomination. Only Murders just did 1. I think the finale as well.
Yes.
So that'll probably get in. The Bear did 1, which I
The
believe
pilot.
is the pilot,
Just the
right?
pilot. Maisel
Barry,
did 2. So Maisel did its 2 best episodes, the finale, 4 minutes, and the Test of Roast Deal.
yes.
And Maisel has not been back. It has not been nominated for writing since it won for its pilot.
So this is tough for the Maisel because I think they're both great. And I think they did the same for directing because one was
Yeah,
Dan
it's the
and
same
one was
too.
Amy, right?
Yeah, I love all the writing and directing ballots every year because you just see every show's strategy.
Yes.
So you see that like, oh, the Bears just focusing one in each category. So in directing, they did review the winner episode.
Yes. Right.
So they
Makes sense.
only submitted 1. So if like as a writer and a director, you can only submit yourself once. But
Right.
if you did it with someone else, they can submit it and you just come along for the ride.
Right.
So you can still, that's how Matt Weiner got a lot of nominations for Mad
Right.
Men because he co-wrote episodes of people. Yeah, so
I would say my take on the Bear strategy is that the writing of the finale should have maybe been submitted. I understand doing the pilot, but the finale has the amazing Al-Anon scene with Jeremy that I think is so well written and like kind of is like the best moment of the season for the character. And like I just think the finale is like great, but I understand doing the pilot as well.
yeah, because I mean, yeah, pilots are just pretty popular submissions.
Sure, obviously.
Shows.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have submitted the finale because that was co-written, right? By
think
Chris
so.
and Joanna, right?
I think
Yeah, so Joanna could have submitted and then Chris would have come along if they had
But they
both
wanted
got
to keep the one focus on the one, which will
yeah,
help.
so that's her strategy because
Right.
like you know, like that's always been like Succession strategy in writing.
Right.
Just Jesse Armstrong always
Right.
on submission.
So for Maisel, I don't think it would get 2 in.
I mean, will it even get one? Because they've never been back since season 1.
I don't know. These are both great
It's hard.
episodes. I would say I think it has a better shot for Testarostiel because it's like a more elaborately constructed episode.
It is.
And I think you could argue Maisel finale could be directing, but I don't know. I maybe neither
But
one
I
of them.
think like Tessa Rossio could also be directing.
Sure. It's very difficult. They're both very good. It's like I totally understand why they went with both of them, but like tough to pick.
So last year, Abbott won, obviously,
Right.
for the pilot. Barry got 2. Hacks got 1. Only Murders got 1. Ted got 1. And What We Do in the Shadows got 2.
Right.
So.
And there's another 2 What We Do in the Shadows as well. Up
Yeah.
this season.
Very popular with the writing branch.
Ted, Barry, the Bear, Only Murders, at least that's 4, right? And 1 Abbott maybe, or 2 Abbotts.
I don't know because so the Abbott submissions, where's writing? Oh my gosh, it's too many tabs.
The Abbott submissions, I got them here. A development day. The teachers are back for development week, a time to prepare for the upcoming year. Janine is determined to start the year off right and leave her problems at home. Ava runs a side hustle out of the school parking lot.
That's the premiere, and that's the one written by Quinta.
Next is Educator of the Year. Gregory is named Educator of the Year. That one's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was Fundraiser. Barbara organizes a candy selling fundraiser to raise money for a school field trip to the Science Museum. When sales don't go as planned, Ava steps in. I believe that's the penultimate episode.
No, that was in the middle of the season.
Oh,
Fundraiser?
I don't remember. Let me see.
Penultimate was Mom, because that was
Abbott is that's the 13th episode. Okay, right.
So I don't know how Abbott will do here. I think it'll get in. I think also, I don't know if they know which one is written by Quinta.
Yeah, her name's not listed on the writers' names are not.
Like obviously last year they knew Quinta wrote the pilot.
Right.
I think also that was the only episode she wrote, or is like credited as the writer in season 2. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know how many I'll get in. I think I'll get at least 1 probably. Barry got both in last year, so I don't both again.
I don't think it would, based on the competition.
Like the Bear's definitely getting in. I think Ted will get in easy just because
it's
like they both like the Bear and Ted just have 1.
Right.
So it's like, even if you don't like that episode, but you're a fan of those shows, it's like this is your only option.
Right. I mean, the Bear, Ted, Only Murders feel like all like very much locked. They all picked 1 episode.
Poker Face has 3, right?
Yes. It has Dead Man 10, which is a premiere. It has Escape from Ship Mountain, which is the penultimate episode, and the Orpheus Syndrome, which is Natasha's. I think if it was going to get in for any, it would just be the premiere, probably. So I think Escape from Ship Mountain is the best episode, I think.
That's not... Well, I mean, yeah, the premiere is Ryan Johnson.
Right.
Or both. And then he only directed Escape from Ship Mountain.
Yes. Escape from Ship Mountain is the best one, I think. But I don't know. It's very competitive. It's a very competitive race. I think Abbott will get in, and I think it most likely will get in for the season 2 premiere. And the fact that it's the premiere and kind of like clearly, even though it doesn't say the season 2 premiere, if people are just like, I don't know what these episodes are, and they're reading the blurbs, they would know it's the season 2 premiere based on the blurb.
I want someone to hire me to write the blurbs.
Who do you
think
does
also
write
a lot of grammatical errors and typos in these, and it hurts me. So
not great, Bob. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Any other shows here? Anything else you want to flag on writing before we go to directing? 3 Atlanta episodes. I will say, from a strategy standpoint, I just want to flag Bupkis, which is a sneaky fave of mine. They went hard on Do As I Say, Not As I Do, which is the 2nd episode with Bobby Cannavale. The best fucking episode. It's so good.
And the flashback to
the wedding after 9/11. It's so good. A great episode.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Creed in it.
So much Creed. Bobby Cannavale in that episode. If I had my own ballot, he would be winning supporting actor. He absolutely destroys that episode. I don't even know if he would be supporting actor. I guess, let me see. Is he guest? Did he submit for guest or supporting? Let me look.
I have no idea how many episodes he was in.
Let's see.
I think he was guest.
He's guest. He's in guest. I might actually put him in for guest and we're able to predict just because I love him. He'll never get nominated. I don't give a shit. He's so good on it. The best. The best. Him singing Creed. He does Cotton Eye Joe. Played the Cotton Eye Joe.
My only issue with that was because that wedding is the end of September and My Sacrifice was not released until mid-October.
Well, not even on radio. We didn't even get it on radio yet.
So it's like, no, because it was released as a single in mid-October. So it was like sent to radio.
Let's see.
I think it's like October 16th.
It was released on October 16th. When did it?
Yes,
so
told you.
So
this is the stuff I care about because this is the same issue I had with The Dropout last year, the anachronisms with Katy Perry, and Firework, which is not released yet. So
I'm still voting for it. If I had a vote, if I was an Emmy voter, do as I say, not as I do. But what else, Joyce, were writing that you noticed that you were like, oh,
writing? You got me on the performer ballot now. I have to go back to writing. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, some of these, they're just like the ones who have no chance of getting in. You just see them submitting like 6 episodes too. But it's like, why not?
How about the great 1 episode, Choose Your Weapon?
Sure. I don't know. It missed last year. It got into writing for its first season. I think it's just too competitive.
It's such a competitive category. Like we said, it's going to be hard for a show like Maisel to even get in.
I know. I mean, I think like Maisel definitely deserves to get back in for writing this season, but I don't know if it will because maybe the writers have just completely moved on from it. So
yeah. 1 shrinking episode, which is the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just scrolling through here. Scintillating stuff.
Yeah, Jury Duty did Ineffective Assistance, which is the 5th episode, the one with James getting lines with Ronald and ending with soaking.
Should we just switch to directing, Joyce?
Directing is also 6.
So last year Abbott missed directing, right, which we were surprised by.
I wouldn't say I was necessarily surprised. Like I think that haul for last year was fine for a mid-season show.
This year again it has 3 contenders.
It submitted 3.
Yes.
It did not submit its Halloween episode though.
No, Randall Einhorn, the teachers conference one. Jay Kara, Story Samurai.
Yeah, that's Chris's big episode.
And Mom, the episode with Taraji, I guess, and it's Ken Whittingham.
Yeah, I think Abbott would really need to get into directing this year to show its strength for series. I think it will need directing and editing this year, which it missed last year and totally fine to miss like mid-season first year show. But I think I'll need it this year.
I mean, if I had to predict, I would predict Randall Einhorn for teachers conference, but I don't know.
I guess we should also point out something that I think a lot of people forget. There is a fixed multicam slot.
Right.
Directing. So it's technically
5
open slots for these people and then 1 fixed multicam.
Right. As we said, Barry did WoW in the series finale, Bill Hader.
Well, he directed the whole thing, so they can only submit once.
The Bear did Review, which is the 1 shot.
Yeah, and I think it will win.
I think it would win also.
And Ted submitted 5 Unhinged.
So Ted submitted 1 for writing, showing great restraint, and then 5 for directing, completely unhinged. Let's see.
Well, I know one is MJ Mullaney, reigning champion. She submitted 2nd episode.
Yes. So she won last year. 2nd episode is when I think Zava comes to the team.
Yeah. They introduced Zava. They also introduced Shandy.
Right.
She directed, I talked about this last week, I think. Like she directed the first 2 and she liked directing the first 2 this time because in the first 2 seasons, she directed at the end of the season when it's sadder stuff. So she liked having sillier stuff at the beginning of the season.
So I think just by the sheer fact that she's won would be a top choice here. But the other 2 I circled of the 5 Ted contenders were the finale, obviously, So Long Farewell by Declan Lowney, just because it's the finale, and I do think it's like one of the best episodes of the season, so that helps. And then Sunflowers, which was Matt Lipsey, which is a very memorable episode because they go to Amsterdam, and I feel like if like we said a lot, and this is not a knock on this season, just even in previous seasons with Ted and a lot of these comedies, to me at least, it's tough to single out episodes because it's just like you're kind of just watching them all together and it just feels like a cumulative thing. But that was a memorable episode because of the location shift. That's why I thought maybe that would get in. The other ones were Colin and Isaac's Colin's episode when he has to come out, right? I think that was that episode. And then 451.
That's like the third episode,
I
right?
think that's the one where Ted finds out that Michelle is dating
their
therapist. Yes.
The marriage. Yeah. So 2 years ago, it got 3 in, and that vote split it, and Hacks won. And last year, and we got 1 in for No Weddings and a Funeral, and it won.
I definitely think it'll get 1 in, at least. I think it could get 2.
Which one?
I think it would definitely get MJ's in, and I think it could get the finale.
But if it's just 1, which one?
I think it would be the finale.
I mean, like, even if you consider those two, I mean, I don't think like the directorial flourishes really matter. Like we've talked about, like how it's not really a directing achievement. Like the direction is fine on the show,
right?
But I don't think like the direction in either of those two are like is like super flashy.
No,
so
it just, I think for a lot of these, to me, it's like, do you like the episode?
Yeah, and like, do you like the show?
So I think they do still. I'm arguing they do like the show, even admitting the flaws.
No, yeah, I think like they still like the show. So it's like how many they submitted 5.
That's a lot of submissions. Like we said, the Maisel has the same 2.
It did not get in last year.
I think it has a better shot of getting in for writing than directing, but I guess we'll see.
Even though it's made directing more times than writing.
Yeah, I think this year it's easier for it to get into writing. I don't know. Directing seems like so tough. There's 5.
I know there's only 5. There's 6 slots, but 1 is gone.
There's only 5 slots and there's 5 TED episodes. So I mean, like,
well, I don't think Ted is getting all 5. So let's say it's max 2.
But that's still like, that means there's only
and then 4. Bill will get in for Barry.
And Bill and Bear are locked. I feel
3.
like.
And then the Bear.
So then you're left with an Abbott, possibly, right? So.
And we didn't even mention Only Murders. He submitted 4, which is a lot too. Last year they got 2 in.
I mean, wait, a lot. I also wanted to flag, this is a home team pick because I interviewed him this week. But Zach Braff is up for Shrinking episode Boop.
Oh, you're gonna predict him now?
Well, I will say that's the best episode, and I think he could get in. He got in for Biscuits for Ted Lasso in first season, and I think he could get in for this one too. If they like Shrinking, it's undoubtedly the best episode, I would argue. It's not the pilot, it's like the 8th episode, but so much happens in that episode and that springs forward to the finale. I don't know. I think he could get in for it. So I don't know if I'd predict it, but like we said, this is a very competitive, but like there's just a lot of people here who could get in, I guess would be my thing. That's why I think Mrs. Maisel has a better shot in writing than here, but I don't know. Poker Face, we have Ryan Johnson, Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah. Yeah, because this also it also lost a slot because last year they had 7 too, so it sucks.
I mean, like there's so many contenders here that I think are legitimate. Like you said, all the Only Murders people, like it could easily get in.
They submitted 4, so that's I guess I don't know. Like maybe the finale, probably. What are the other ones?
How about your boy Jake Szymanski for Jury Duty?
I wish. I mean, they really should nominate him just because logistically directing that type of
that's
show.
What I mean. Like I feel like there's a lot of people here who can get in. It's just a really competitive category. Do you think there's a world where Abbott misses again? Yes, I guess.
Yes.
Do you think there's a world where Ted misses?
I guess if the support is really diffused between the 5, but I don't think it will be. I think like 1 or 2 would rise to the top.
I think the finale would be pretty solid.
Probably if they're just like thinking about it being the last episode or the most recent one they watched.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know how many voters went and they're not, or like they don't remember these episodes, like they don't know them by title, and it's not really clicking when they read the blurb. Like, do they make the effort to like Google and see what this episode is?
Or do they just pick the people they like? Like, I mean, that like Ryan Johnson, I feel like could get in just because he's Ryan Johnson, right? I think that's a great episode. It's Escape from Ship Mountain. Like we said, that one rules. I do love that one, and I think it's a really well-directed episode. Or Natasha's as well. Like, either one of them can get in just because people like them.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Ryan's never been nominated for an Emmy before, so we just assume
Right.
they like him enough to
I was also
nominate him.
thinking this one. How about this for directing? Nathan Fielder for The Rehearsal.
I mean, that'll be cool, but
It's not unlikely. I mean, I guess it's a long shot, but it
it's
would
a
not
long
be.
shot.
But it's not like it wouldn't be a total shock, I guess.
No, but like there's just way too much ahead of him.
Yeah. It's such an impossible. This is a really tough. Jesus. What else did you think of on this before we go to drama?
I mean, like nothing really, because I was like trying to figure out the 6 and I couldn't.
Do you want to look at anything else before we go to drama? Any other ballots?
For comedy?
Yeah.
I don't know. What
We don't need
else?
to. I was like, just asking.
I don't know.
Let's
I
go
mean,
to
like
drama.
really the only thing I looked at was like music, but that's like in general, not
Right.
specifically for comedy.
Right. All right, drama, Joyce. So these kept the 8. The 8
Well, series
supporting
is
series 8, but I'm 8
always
supporting and
relevant.
8 and 8 and 6. So
Yes.
they're just the same old. So nothing changed there.
Yes. Nothing changed. I would just point out on the ballot, I love the sequence on drama actor of Kevin Costner, Brian Cox, Bryan Cranston, and Kieran Culkin. Oh,
Incredible.
no.
I did make changes for no reason. My picks. I took out Sophie Nélisse and I put Sharon Horgan in for Bad Sisters.
Yeah, I did that too.
And I have Kerry Russell in for The Diplomat.
Wow, are you just copying me?
Did you have Kerry Russell in too?
I already had her in there.
I had her in too already. I just took out Sophie for Sharon.
When did you put Carrie in?
I had her in like a few weeks ago. And then as a result, I finally took out House of the Dragon.
Wow.
Yeah.
What made you do it?
You're telling you convincing me every week that it's probably not as strong a supporter. The fact that I just think you're actually right. So that's why, not that I'm fully listening to you. I came to this on my own, but it was a data point that I just couldn't ignore. It just feels like there's so many other shows here. And the other thing, like we had said, is they're all like genre male shows. It feels like a lot of these, and I just don't think they're all going to get in, which is something you've said for weeks. So I put Bad Sisters in.
Yes, I had that in there.
You did.
Already.
But nothing else here really changed for me based on the submissions, for drama actress at least.
Yeah, no, for drama actress, I basically just put Sharon Horgan back in because I had her in there like months ago.
Right.
And then I just like I'm very unsure about Yellow Jackets.
So I don't think this season was, again, I think it feels like Ted Lasso-y to me, but it's not as big as Ted Lasso. And I think that'll hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, well, I think that Sophie's episode, like standout episode was like Kui, I would imagine, right? Like that's I just don't think like it has enough buzz. I don't know. I feel like, and Bad Sisters, I think was a show that was well liked, and then they've done a great job bringing it back to paying attention to it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty liked by blue checks.
Yes.
And
they're not blue checks anymore though, Joyce.
No, some of them are. Elon gave it back to some of them. So
yeah,
they're blue checks on Instagram still.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think yeah, like you were saying, like series wise, I think because it's one of the few like female fronted shows, like it's like the apple in a bag of oranges. So I think maybe it could get into the 8th slot there. Yeah. And then drama actress is the last couple slots kind of hard to fill out. So I'm like, why not just put her back in? It's like she's the creative force behind it
Right.
too, and she's good in it. I also considered, because I did that, I was like, should I also do Anne Marie Duff and support it? She won BAFTA, but that's also juried.
Right.
So
And then for actor, nothing changed here for anything really, right? I mean, nothing surprising. I have Diego.
I mean,
in
I
my
still
last
have
spot.
Matthew Reese in there just because.
I have Diego in my last spot because I have Andor in for series, which I know you do too.
Yeah, nothing. I don't know. I mean, I think most people have triple succession: Pedro Pascal, Bob Odenkirk, and Jeff Bridges.
I think
So,
that'll be an interesting race because I think we'll have a lot of debate and discussion about like whether the 3 Succession guys split and then which one of Pedro or Bob could sneak in and win. And
I mean, that conversation is already being had.
yeah, we're just not having it yet. You and
Well, I mean, like, I guess it's not official because we don't have the
Right.
nominations yet. But I think, once like Brian stayed in lead,
Right.
it was like, oh, they're gonna split. But I also think a lot of that is just people wanting a non-succession guy to win too. So it's kind of like an easy argument to make.
I think there's definitely an easy argument to make. And I do think obviously there's like people are invested in Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
And want him to win.
He's the people's champion.
So like they absolutely want him to win. And like there's an investment there. They bought the stock. They want to see a payoff.
Yes.
And so we'll see if that happens.
And then when you see like there's gonna be 3 guys from one show, you're like, this is perfect for a vote split. My guy Pedro's gonna win.
I think I'd be more inclined to predict Pedro once I see how Last of Us does as a series overall.
Exactly. Yes.
If it like really gets like they really go crazy for it, I could see going to him.
Yeah, but like I can also just see it being one of those freshman shows that like does pretty well nom-wise, but doesn't really win a whole ton or like, big categories,
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, we talked about this a little bit in our column last week. Like, I think that show just over indexes online. So, and then when you're in an online bubble, you think it's like bigger than it is. And I do think the show is popular with the industry. Steven Spielberg sent them a note after a long time. So, it has fans. Like, I think it's safe for a lot of these categories. But I think winning is a different matter.
Yeah.
So.
What else? Supporting actress choice. I made a change. I have Justine Lupin for Succession.
Who did you drop?
I dropped Sophie Thatcher, who I had in for Yellow Jackets.
Oh.
I've just moved off the Yellow Jackets younger people because while I think they're excellent and my favorite part of the show, I'm just not sure that the industry is paying enough attention. Maybe this is completely, there's no reason for me to think this other than just like changing my mind. But I'm just not sure. I guess I'll believe it when I see it, that they actually know these actors by name, that they appreciate the younger performances, and that it's not just about like Juliette Lewis and Melanie Linsky and Christina Ricci and all these other famous people who are the leads. So I put Justine Lupin because she rules on the season, and I think Alan Ruck will get in, and I think they're a tag team. They're like a poor
can't vote for one without the other.
Kind of. They're like a poor person's Christopher and Adriana. Or rich person's maybe in this case.
I haven't made any changes, so I still have the same. I have quadruple White Lotus
here. Do you have Sabrina?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel confident about it, but I don't know what to do.
I'm going Justine. I was psyched to be
I mean, like I never had Sophie Thatcher in here, but I feel the same way about the younger cast. I mean, we kind of talked about this when we talked about the finale a couple weeks ago.
And
like, I did feel like going into season 2, it had the potential to really expand nominations. But since like the season was kind of hit or miss, I don't know if like that's a strong possibility anymore. So and yeah, like the younger cast is so big too,
right?
So like I think it's good or like, I don't know, like it was a good move for Sophie Nélisse to go lead. I think that's fine, and it kind of helps her stand out in the lead category opposite the adults there. But Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Christina could miss for some reason?
No, I don't. I don't really. She's just good. She's so good on it. I don't know. I don't think she would.
What if she gets in for this and Wednesday?
That would be completely wild, I would say. I don't know. I think that would be nuts, but uh I'm not sure Wednesday's gonna be so strong, I guess.
Um, but like acting wise, I just have Jenna right now
Right.
for Wednesday.
And then supporting actor Joyce, nothing really changed there either.
I did nothing.
Nothing at all. How about guest?
Guest, so I didn't really do anything either, but I still have Ella Purnell there for Yellow Jackets. Like she submitted. I don't really think she'll get in, but I'm just like, I guess I could go back to Claire Foy. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought Claire Foy actually too. Like
She won this last time.
so, and she's like in it more. I guess we'll see. That's another one where I'm just like, do they care about the season? Right? Like we think that was a little soft, but maybe they don't think that, similar to Ted, and they're just going to be like, yeah, fuck it, crown Claire Foy again.
Yeah, and like they're the laziest with the guest categories. So I don't know. I might put her back in.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna put her
Taylor.
back in too. I took out Cherry Jones.
Wow, I still have my triple succession here.
I just was like, she never came back, and that episode, like we have said, feels like 3 million years ago in life and in the show. And so I put Fiona Shaw in for Andor. Did you always have her in though?
I always had her.
So I have like three. I have three Last of Us still. I have Melanie, Storm Reed, and Anna Torv.
I've only have Anna, so I have triple succession,
So
and
yeah,
then Anna, Fiona, and Claire now.
right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think I put Harriet in first. She submitted Church and State.
I put Harry in first also. No disrespect to Hyam, who I love.
Yeah. Harriet could get in for Ted too. So I think
I
she
have her
probably
in for Ted too.
yeah. So and then in actor, I put James in first, James Cromwell.
I did too.
We'll see.
But obviously I think everyone still has Nick Offerman in first. And
Yes.
so here's my question with actor. How'd you fill out the rest of it beyond Nick Murray Bartlett and James Cromwell for guest actor?
Well, I haven't made any changes. So I currently have James, Murray, Nick, Bryan Cranston, Arian Moya, and Andy Serkis. But I would like to put Justin Kirk in. We can't predict him yet. He's not in there yet, but he is submitted.
Church and State.
Yes.
He did. I wonder if is Arian going to get in?
He got in last year.
He got in last year, but I feel like he had more to do last year. Would be my
I mean, like, I don't really know. It's like,
do they care that Stewie wasn't in it as much?
I think people just like Stewie.
They love Stewie. I have him in. I just am like unsure of it. How about Bryan Cranston?
I still have him there.
But you'll drop him for Justin.
I guess. I don't know.
Or would you drop Andy Serkis for Justin?
I don't know. I thought Andor was pretty smart with his guest submissions because like it could have gone harder, but they kept it pretty limited. Because it's not like a super strong acting contender anyway. So I think it was like good to focus on like Fiona and Andy.
Right.
Really. I don't know. I guess the question is like how many succession slots or how many slots will Succession take up?
Or how many could Last of Us? I mean, like, I think you can make a case for Lamar Johnson for Last of Us. That is a tragic character, and he was so good. I also think you can make a strong case for like John Grease for White Lotus. And then all of a sudden you're knocking out like some Last of Us or some Succession people. I don't know. I'm just like, this is a tough list to narrow down.
Yeah, so last year Succession got 4 in on an unlimited ballot.
Right.
Yeah, so right now I have 2. I
Not
guess
great.
if like the actors go hard for it again.
Yeah, I have 2 also, but I mean, I don't know if I would put Justin in. I don't know if I take out Brian. I'm not sure Brian would get in. I
I
feel
don't
like,
know either, but like it's like something that I could see them just doing.
and they're so lazy. Like it's like
Yeah,
Claire Foy kind of, though I think he had more to do than Claire, I'd argue.
he had a lot more to do than
Um, so should we do the drama? So for the writing and directing, let's do writing first, like we did with comedy.
it has 7 slots.
Yes.
Jesse Armstrong submitted Connor's Wedding,
So
so he will get in and probably win. It'll just ruin his streak of winning for the finales.
so Succession really went
They're
on
all in on Connor's
Connor's
Wedding.
Wedding. So it's here for Jesse for writing. Nicholas Bertel has it for music for his score. I think editing was one of the editing nominee
They
submissions.
submitted 4 in editing, and that's 1. They submitted 2 in
2 in
cinematography, that's
cinematography.
1.
So
It's
that was
their sound mixing and editing submission, which makes sense. Like the phone call is good mixing. And I don't know what else was there.
well,
I
it's
mean,
not costumes actually went with Church and State, not
yeah, Cosmos Church and State.
the wedding,
And
which I was kind of surprised by, frankly, too. But I don't know.
and American Decides was production design.
Um,
yeah.
we
But I
talked
mean, like
about this
he's
previously,
winning.
right? I think in another episode. That
Like he's what?
well, just
What?
Jesse's submission of what it would be. I mean, we both thought the finale because he's done the finale.
Yeah, but like they're just clearly just gonna go in all in on Connor's Wedding.
And I guess
So
it doesn't matter because it's going to
it
win.
doesn't matter because they only just submit him for writing. So
They only submit him for writing.
he's gonna
But
win. So
I don't.
it just makes more room for other nominees because Succession could submit other people besides him. So
Right.
Succession could take up multiple slots, but they don't. So it's just gonna be one Succession.
So other shows that stood out. So Better Call Saul has
It's
5.
5. I think. Well, I mean, we already knew their submissions because they sent them in like
Right.
fall. So
Uh,
they always over submit because that's their MO. They've been doing it since the Breaking Bad days because Skilligan is very
Spread the
just
wealth.
like spread the wealth, like very egalitarian, and he
That's
wants he's not about like the strategy, he's more about like you advocate for yourself, like just submit yourself. And he didn't submit himself. We already knew this. We talked about this in April. Like he didn't submit because I think he doesn't want, like, it's not really his show because he stepped out like in the 3rd season, so it's really Peter Gould's show, and he's always very deferential to Peter Gould, and he came back for this backstretch and did a couple episodes, but he didn't submit. So because I think he wants to shine on the other people,
Right.
so
Bad Sisters did the pilot. Andor has 2.
Yeah, Rick's Road and One Way Out. It's
Rick's
best
Road,
episodes.
Rick's Road seems like the one they really are kind of focusing on. I think that was its directing submission, right? Yeah.
They only did one in directing.
Right. We'll get to that, I guess. I know. I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. What else here? Last of Us did it's
long time.
Long time, which is it's Connor's Wedding. Pretty much all the
3rd episode.
third episode.
That's also their focus. They
Yes.
they only submitted that for writing and directing, so
Yes.
that's their strategy.
Yep.
And then the interesting thing I thought for Yellow Jackets was they submitted 2, but they didn't neither of those episodes were written by Ashley Lyle and Bart Nickerson, the co-creators. So that's interesting. And then obviously White Lotus is just Reba Dirty, Mike White says.
What's your takeaway here? What do you think it'll get in? What do you think will get
So
in?
I think the nominees will be this. I was actually able to figure out whatever or predict or make a cohesive lineup. I think it'll be Succession, obviously, White Lotus, Better Call Saul for Saul Gone, the series finale, Last of Us for a long time. So that's 4. And then I think Bad Sisters can get in.
Absolutely.
And then I think it'll be double Andor. in the end.
Wow.
I think it's easier for me to go with double Andor than to pick one Andor and something else, like a Yellow Jackets or another Better Call Saul. I'm not confident they'll do like another Better Call Saul. I guess it could also be The Crown.
So The Crown has how many? Let me see.
The
Just
Crown
one,
only did
Gunpowder.
They did 4, I think, in directing.
I think The Crown could get in.
Yeah.
I also thought maybe Stranger Things could get in. Eligible here for the finale. That's what they submitted. I don't know.
I just think that's like
Out of sight, out
too
of mind.
long ago.
Yeah.
So those are their orphaned episodes from
Yes.
last year. Yeah.
Anything else do you think could surprise?
I think Mandalorian submitted 2, right?
Yeah.
Former nominee, but I don't think it's getting in.
No. Should we just jump to directing then?
Sure.
So directing, we'll just start with Succession.
They did the 3 we expected. Connor's Wedding for Mark Mylod, America Decides for Andre Perec, and Living Plus for Lorraine Scafaria. And I think all 3 will get in.
So how many does this have? 7 or 6?
That's 7. So I think
3
those 3 will get in,
Successions.
just like last year. And Mike White, obviously,
So that's
for
4.
Reba Dirce.
Andor will get in.
Last of Us. Yeah. Last of Us before Andor.
Sure.
And then I think Better Call Saul can get in. It's only previously gotten in for Vince, but for Saul gone. And I think the last spot can go to Andor, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it went to The Crown for Gunpowder.
Could easily happen. I feel like Andor might be safe here, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's more passion for Andor than The Crown. So for Andor, they just did Rick's Road here.
Is there any chance Succession only gets 2 because people completely wrongly seem to think that Living Plus is not a fucking banger episode?
I don't think it's that they don't think it's a banger episode. I think it's just the last stretch. The episodes after that are so, like, would you say like that's better than any of the 4 that came after it?
I mean, my personal preference would be the finale. I think is the finale in Church and State, I think, are the best of the season, 9 and 10. I think Living Plus and American Decides are like on the same level to me. And what was the 7th episode?
Hellgate.
Not as much of a fan as that one, even though I think that's the one that I think Sarah and Matthew will submit for acting with for their episodes. But I don't know. I think Living Plus is great. Living Plus is awesome because it's the Hollywood stuff is so much fun. Fucking great Roman, great Shiv, great Kendall, great Roman Jerry scene, which we don't have a lot of. Great Mattson Shiv scene on the plane when he's got no shoes on. Kendall just flying high. He's Icarus, right into the sun.
Yeah, no, I love the episode, but I think you're overstating the hatred for the episode that people have for it. I think people like the subsequent episodes more, especially the last 3.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they hate Living Plus.
I don't think they hate any of the episodes, but I think they dismiss Living Plus wrongly.
Well, I think also if you're gonna say like Succession can only get 2 slots in here, I think most people would just pick Connor's Wedding and America Decides.
Of course.
They're also more consequential to the series.
Right. I mean, I think they'll all get in. I'm just saying, like, if it dropped one, I think it would be Living Plus. And
yeah, like if you're gonna drop one, it's gonna be Living Plus. But I think they're all get in.
I'll be mad if that happens. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'll be pretty pissed.
It'll get in, but then the complication is that like, can Succession be the first to overcome a triple vote split to win?
So if they all got in, we're putting the cart like way ahead of the horse here. I'm assuming they'll all get in though. If they all got in, I still think Connor's Wedding could win because Mylod went there was so much attention paid to that episode. And I think, like you're saying, Living Plus is not going to affect it because nobody is probably going to put that. So then you're down between Connor's Wedding and America Decides. And I think, again, Connor's Wedding is way more of a directorial achievement in the consciousness or whatever than that. So I think it could win. I actually do. Though I think it's
better positioned to win this year than it was last year. with the triple split,
Yes.
because I don't think any of its nominees last year had that same hype over one episode. Like everyone knows Connor's Wedding is like the episode.
If it wasn't going to, if you were going to pick something else, what would you pick of the
Like
nominees we don't know?
a non-Succession?
Yes.
White Lotus.
So I would go Last of Us, but I'm hotter on Last of Us.
You are. Because I have White Lotus in second.
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
They won 10 Emmys last year.
I know. Anything else in the directing?
So last year Yellow Jackets got in for the pilot for Corinne Kasuma. She submitted again for story. I think Yellow Jackets had 4 for directing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure it can get back in this year.
I don't know. Again, a lot of episodes to pick from and a season that was not widely embraced.
Yeah, I mean, like I hope Better Call Saul can get in. I think it can, because it's the last season. So I'm hoping it could just get in for the series finale.
Also, the series finale rules, I think.
Yeah, so I also love their blurbs, because for all of their blurbs for Saul Gone, it just says the series finale, period. So it reminds me of when they submitted 5-0 and they just wrote the Mike episode. It's like, we all know. That's all you need.
Anything else in your drama, Joyce? Do you want to look at the other ballots? Music, we said Nikki Bertel does Connor's Wedding.
Connor's Wedding, yeah.
Um,
he'll probably get double nominated for that and Andor.
Yep.
And he probably will never win for Succession, because we can't have nice things.
Well, he already won for theme. I think they
won for theme, but he has not won for the score.
No, I think they just think he gave it to them. They gave it to him, and that's it. Any other music notes here before we go to limited series?
Not for drama.
No.
So
limited series, Joyce. So there are 5 nominees for series, like you have rightly said the whole time. 6 for lead actor and actress. That's great. And then 7 for supporting actor and actress, which is also great because we had been predicting 6 the whole time.
Last year they had 7 too, but it was dominated by 2 shows.
I'm loving that.
Well, so what are your 5 in series?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Beef is still my number 1. And I think the extended ballots and supporting actually helps Beef even further, because most of its fringe contender actors should get in as well. And that will only help it further in series. So I've way in on that. Blackbird, I still have hanging in. And I think this extended ballot could help Blackbird too, because someone like Greg Kinnear could get in, which I think would help the series overall. Monster, I have in. I have Obi-Wan. And I stuck with Daisy Jones in the 6 because I think it's Amazon's biggest show. And I do think it's really likable. Even if it has no win shot, I think it's enough of a likable big deal that it would get in over something like, in our odds, Fleischman in Trouble is in 4th. They've done a pretty good job of trying to resuscitate that show into the consciousness, but I don't know if enough people are watching it compared to Daisy Jones.
So I have Beef, Monster, Daisy, Fleischman, and Love and Death.
Well, you don't have Obi-Wan.
Well, I lost the Phantom 6 slot, so
if I was going to put any of these in, I would put Love and Death in, and I would probably drop Daisy Jones or Obi-Wan, because I do think Love and Death had a strong push here in the final weeks.
Yeah, so I still have Fleischman, because I think that's a show. Well, it's old, so that's my old show. So you have my old show that's not Monster. You have Blackbird. And I think it's a show that appeals to the industry, or it's very relatable. So I had drinks the other night with our mutual friend who loves this show, and she's not a voter or anything, but and I think that sentiment is shared, because she's she felt like she really related to it, and the idea of not being where you are or where you thought you were going to be like when you were in your 20s, and I think that's kind of like universal. So I think it's like something that the industry, even if it's not, a huge hit by any means, I think that's something that they respond to. I don't think it's going to be like huge or anything, although I wouldn't be surprised if it got in series, and like if Jesse got in along with Claire and it got writing and directing. It was strategic with its writing and directing submissions too.
I absolutely think you can get writing, directing, and still not get in for series.
Yes, yeah. I think like the floor is like Claire and writing.
I mean, if you're going through what are my favorite, like it is my favorite show. I agree with our mutual friend. I loved it also, but I am definitely a mark for it based on my age and like career and life. But I also think it's a little, this is going to sound silly, but do you think there would be two East Coast? It's a very New York, very East Coast show.
But
And I wonder if there'd be,
there's a lot of voters in New York.
There's a bias though. I think there's an East Coast bias that people have. And I wonder if they'll like take it out on the show. But they don't do that for Succession, obviously, though I think they're rich. The richness helps overcome the bias for East Coast from the voters. I would love to see it. It's my favorite show. It was my favorite show last year, but I'm not predicting it because I just think it's too small. But I do think the writing and directing nominations are very likely. I think when we get to that. I went with Obi-Wan just because it's like a broad show, like you've been saying. I don't think it's even very good, personally. But it was also on last year.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It was also on last year, which helps. It's another old one. And Daisy Jones, God bless them. They've been still promoting it. And I think it is liked. It is a good show that people like. And that helps.
Yeah, like it's like it's not that old. Like, I mean, they aired all of it in March. Again, just iconic strategy, 10 episodes in March. Long episodes too, but I think I don't think anyone hates it.
Exactly.
So, and yeah, like Amazon is really pushing it. I did think about putting in a small light because of the restricted ballot. So
I thought that too, and I know my parents watched that one, liked it. I'm just not sure enough people watched it.
I think if you watch it, it's another one that's hard not to like. Yes. If you watch it though. Yeah. And I think it might be hard to get people to watch it because of the subject matter. Absolutely. But it's actually a very funny show, and I don't think people know that.
No, it's I don't want to say entertaining based on the subject, but it's not vegetables. It's not just
it's not like, morose all the time and morose. Like
there you go.
And I also feel like maybe there might be a sentiment. It's like, oh, we have another Anne Frank story again, like been there, done that, but it's a different perspective. Yes. Really. So I mean, it is a different perspective. So it's a different angle on the story, or like an inroads. So, but I do like, I would be way more confident in it if this had premiered in like January, because I feel like it needs a little bit more runtime.
Definitely.
To build support, because it was so quiet. It premiered at a terrible time too because of the strike and everything. And it's a pretty long show. Like they're trying, like Disney with like it's on Nat Geo. It was on Nat Geo linearly.
Yep.
It's like you could watch it on Hulu and Disney Plus. So
for limited series actress, like comedy actress and all the actress categories this year seemingly incredibly competitive, and a lot of spots where I wish I could nominate 6 other people. But I kept my 6, which is now Elizabeth Olsen, Rachel Weisz, Betty Gilpin, Ali Wong, Jessica Chastain, and Sydney Sweeney. I have no confidence in Sydney Sweeney or Betty Gilpin getting in at all.
You put Sydney back in.
I did. I'm ride or die for Sydney Sweeney. But I don't think she'll get in. I don't think Betty Gilpin actually will get in either. So I could see them losing out, but I don't know who would get in. Our odds, it's Emily Blunt for the English. She was doing her Actors on Actors with Brian Cox this week.
That was a great conversation.
She's been absolutely everywhere for this show. Like, she has not been shy about campaigning for it, which I think will help. Riley Keough for Daisy Jones. Less visibility because of probably extenuating circumstances, it seems, with her family life, but
she's also, I think she's generally just kind of shy. So she does. I
Yes.
mean, she's done some stuff, but
She's
not a lot.
awesome on the show, and these are two Amazon shows, and Rachel Weisz obviously is an Amazon show too. I love Riley Keough on the show, and the fact that she does all her own singing and is legitimately good, I think should get her in, but I don't know if it would. And then Lizzie Kaplan, Dominique Fishback for Swarm, another Amazon show, Belle Powley for Small Light. I don't know. Do you still have Betty Gilpin in or no?
No, I never put her in, remember? I only had her in drama when they
I
were
see.
in drama.
I forgot.
But I did vote for Betty Gilpin at TCA.
That's
So.
good. Good for you. You made the right choice. But so what do you think is going to get in here?
I didn't make any changes, so I still have Allie, Lizzie Olsen, Jess, Emily, Dominique, and Rachel.
You think Dominique will get in? I think she could too. But
I think a lot of people love that performance
yes,
from her. I think she and Rachel could end up just being sole nominees.
right.
I mean, like,
not be surprised.
get some like below the line stuff, but
Do you have Emily in? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening, which
Yeah.
is a bad thing to admit. It's like there was an old Phil Rizzuto used to do. You know who Phil Rizzuto is? I'm sure you do, right? Like obviously, he used to play for the Yankees and was a Yankee broadcaster, and he used to keep score like in his scorebook. This is things he used to do when you're old, and he used to write WW on like his when he was like keeping score. And I remember somebody was like, "What is WW?" I'd never heard of that before, and it wasn't watching. So
WW Walter White too.
now it's Walter, right? 20, 30 years ago, it wasn't watching. And now for me, it wasn't listening. So, okay. So you think Emily will get in? I think she can get in, obviously.
It's an older show too.
I'm just going to hope Dick, Betty, and Sydney, and know they're going to be wrong. These are my Matthew Good of the year.
Okay.
Do you
I
think?
don't even know if like I would make any changes to
I don't
these.
know.
I feel like I've had the same one for like 2 months or the same sex, and
It's
I don't know. I guess I could like maybe Belle Powley too, but I don't know. Do I have too many Amazon ladies?
no.
I don't have Riley. I have the other three.
I mean, Amazon has an embarrassment of riches with the lead actor categories, and I think they're actually. I think what you said is right, and the strategy is smart to do. Like, I think that Rachel and Dominique could be lone nominees for their shows, and I think it helps them from. I don't know. I think it could work. I don't think you have too many. I have Lizzie winning. Do you have Lizzie winning?
I have Allie in first, just because she has the stronger show.
Right.
I have Lizzie in second, and then I have Jess in third.
Right.
But I think she's still first in the odds, right?
Yeah.
So
for actor Joyce, not a lot of changes here. Though I did put Ewan McGregor in for Obi-Wan because I put Obi-Wan in for series.
I did nothing.
Mine are Stephen Yeun, Evan Peters, Taron Egerton, Daniel Radcliffe, Michael Shannon, and Ewan McGregor.
I have Stephen, Evan, Taron, Steve Carell, Woody, and Ben Whishaw still.
So we're way off on there. I'm going to go 3 for 6 there, and I'm going to be like, Joyce nailed it.
I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, like I said before, I could see Jesse Eisenberg.
Would be great. He's really good on Fleischman. It's actually like outside of Social Network, it might be my favorite performance of his.
Yeah, I mean, if they really like the English, then Chesky Spencer.
Chesky Spencer rules. He was in a small movie. I forget what it was called. So this is a great story already, but it was at Sundance a few years ago. I'm going to actually Google it. And he was so good in it. Let's see. Wild Indian, it was called. It's a great little movie. Michael Gray Eyes was in it too.
Yeah. It's like kind of weird for me when people talk about a show. It makes it sound like Emily is the sole lead when it's a two-hander.
Yes. It would be great if he's like really good actor. So I actually would love to see it because I think that would like boost his visibility, obviously, and like being an Emmy nominee. So hopefully we'd get more like prominent roles because he's so good. That Wild Indian movie, Jesse Eisenberg's in it too, in like a brief cameo, and it's like it didn't go anywhere, but it's like pretty solid if you could find it.
Yeah, I don't have Daniel Radcliffe.
I feel like I think you've been underestimating that, but maybe you're right. I don't know.
I mean, it's just me choosing not to predict a movie person.
Right.
It's like nothing to do with him. I think he's great in the movie. I
The
mean, if he
movie
gets
is a
it, I
tough,
wouldn't be surprised because this category is so open after
right.
like the top three. So
The movie is a tough beat, obviously. And then supporting, let's just do them quick before we do the writing. So there's 7 slots, which I'm like, hooray. So we
and
can't
it won't be 5 of them won't be taken up by the White Lotus, and the other 2 won't be taken up by Dopesick.
So my 6 right now, because we can only predict 6 at the moment as we're recording this, but it'll be updated soon. Niecy Nash and Claire Danes. I have Ashley Park and Maria Bello for Beef. I have Jennifer Ely for Dead Ringers and Lily Rabe for Love and Death. And I'm trying to figure out what my 7th person would be. And I think I'd go Michael Learned for Monster in that case.
I have her. So I don't know what my 7th would be either, because I don't have Jennifer Ely. I have the others.
So I feel like she could get in because of like the Rachel, like the Rachel Halo, and just the 2 of them get in.
Maybe I don't even know like what. I guess it could be like kind of easy to just go back to Lena Headey, who's I think is like still in the top 5.
Olivia Colman is still in the top 3.
Oh my gosh.
Olivia Colman, did you watch Secret Invasion yet?
I have not watched them yet. I need to watch them before they expire.
Watched the first one last night. You know who's great? Olivia Colman. Fucking having
I mean, obviously she wanted to be in Marvel.
Holy cow, she is having a blast. It's so much. Her and Samuel Jackson together is a lot of fun. The show is okay so far. I only watched the first episode, but man, she is having a blast. Love it.
This was her dream.
But not for Great Expectations. I still don't think she's getting it for Great Expectations.
Will she get it next year for Secret Invasion?
If only. I hope so.
I
mean, I'll predict her next year for sure. If based on just the one episode, she's so much fun.
I don't know what my 7th would be, because I don't feel good about White House Plumbers at all. I dropped Lena a while ago. Cherry Jones is probably still in the top 6, right?
The top 6, yeah. Olivia Colman is 3, Lena Headey 4, Cherry Jones 5, Maria Bello 6, Ashley Park 7, Lily Rabe 8, Judy Greer 9, Michael Learned 10, Merritt Weaver for Tiny Beautiful Things, Anna Paquin, Jennifer Ely.
I mean, I did have Merritt once upon a time, but I don't think I can go there. Just that show is so literally tiny.
I mean,
and she missed for Unbelievable, which had a lot more going for it.
I interviewed her, so I'm obviously biased, but Camilla Morrone for Daisy Jones. If they love the show, her character is like one of the best characters, and like I think she does a great job on it. So I could see her getting in.
She's a very sympathetic character.
I could see her getting in, but I don't want to predict it. But I could see.
So Judy Greer is pretty high here too, but she didn't have a lot to do in White House Plumbers. White House Plumbers didn't submit Kathleen Turner, so she was not just in one episode, but she was great. I wouldn't predict her, but they didn't submit her, so sad.
And then for supporting actor, Joyce. So we can go to 7.
The 7 made it easier for me.
The 7 made it easier for you, but I'm still going way off. Like I'm going completely different from our odds, at least, because I don't have Donald Gleason in for The Patients.
I don't have him either.
Okay, our odds have him in 3rd. I have Paul Walter Hauser, Richard Jenkins, Jesse Plemons, Ray Liotta, Young Mazzino, Joseph Lee, and Greg Kinnear.
Well, you're just all in on Blackbird.
I am.
I have PWH, and then I have Double Monster with Richard and Ronnie Burford, Double Beef with Young and Joe, and Double Love and Death with Jesse and Tom Pelphrey.
Oh yeah, you love Tom Pelphrey.
He's great. He's the best part.
You interviewed him. Was he nice?
He's the best. And then we talked afterwards. I told him to tell Kaylee that I love Based on a True Story, and he's like, I will. So
still haven't caught that one yet, but I've talked to multiple people who really like it, including you. But my mom and dad loved it. My mom's comment was, it ends on a cliffhanger, and now I gotta wait to see another season. And she was pissed.
Tom and I talked about that because I was like, we need the season 2. And he's like, I know, that's what I said when I finished watching it. But I need to watch the final cut, because I watched the screeners, and in the premiere, like Chris Messina is a former tennis pro. So this is why, obviously I'm already in.
Sure.
And like his claim to fame is like he had 1 win over Roger Federer. So it opens with him on the toilet watching highlights of his 1 win over Roger Federer, and they use highlights from the 2004 Indian Wells final when Raj beat Tim Henman, but they make it like they didn't at the screener did not CGI Chris's face onto Tim yet. But like that match was supposed to be Chris beating Raj. So yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, this is the way to get me hooked into the show. And I also love murder and satire. So
we're gonna watch it. I'll probably watch the second Secret Invasion screener, and then maybe we'll do that tonight after.
But yeah, Tom Pelphrey, great on Love and Death. I would be disappointed if Jesse got in and Tom did not. Right. I would rather they both be snubbed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to? So for a limited series, we'll go to writing now. What stood out here for you?
Writing, Mrs. Davis submitting 5, and I'm like, well, maybe it won't get it now. That was my only note on this.
So Fleischman, we said, great job, submitted Me Time. That's the Claire Danes episode.
Mm-hmm.
Good one.
Yeah, I think it's getting in for that.
Yep. Beef submitted one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the pilot.
Yes, for Livingston, so that'll get in. But yeah, I was like thinking Mrs. Davis could get into writing, and I'm like, I don't think so now.
Hard to pick. What would you pick?
I don't know.
Personally, I would pick the finale, but I don't know if that'll work. Also, what if, or maybe the 5th episode?
Oh, the 5th one was great. Oh my gosh.
Which one is the 5th one? The problem is they also
have that's the one with they reveal the ad that it's an ad.
I'm trying to figure out which one that is. Let's see.
Yeah, because all their titles are AI generated, so it's hard to figure out what they are.
The Nun is forced to leave her quiet life. Mother of Mercy must be the 1st episode based on the. I mean, I'll just look. I'm not going to try to guess. I'm going to actually just Google this stupid show and look at the episode title.
Mother of Mercy is the premiere.
Mother of Mercy is the premiere. The long, I would guess, German one is the 2nd episode.
That's the 2nd episode.
A Baby with Wings, A Sad Boy with Wings, and a Great Helmet is the 3rd episode, which is Excalibur that they did not submit, I don't believe.
No.
The 4th episode is A Beautiful Things That Come to Mind with Madness.
They didn't submit that.
The 5th episode is A Great Place to Drink and Gain Control of Your Drink.
That's what they submitted.
So that would be the one I would nominate if I was doing it, because that's a great one. Really a fun episode with Schrodinger explaining everything to them.
And final intercut is the finale.
Right.
So
Miss Marvel a bunch.
Remember when we dragged WandaVision for over submitting and I got 3 in?
This is a tough category.
I mean, if like the show is popular enough, I mean, that was also on an unlimited ballot, but if they like you enough, they'll.
I wanted to flag my favorite here, Joyce. Do Revenge is eligible, and I would actually nominate it for screenwriting for Jennifer.
I mean, we skipped over a TV movie, but are you predicting Do Revenge?
Not yet, but I actually might. Jennifer Caton Robinson, I would put in for screenwriting though, unless it rules. Or did she co-write it? Or let me see who actually wrote it. I thought she co-wrote it. Oh,
yeah, so this I can see Beef winning.
I mean, yeah, do you think like Blackbird as one, do you think like that would get in for Dennis Lehane? Assuming he wrote that one.
Maybe. They submitted 1, right? Yes. I think so.
Yeah.
The Place I Lie. Which one is that?
What about Daisy Jones submitted 1, 5th episode. Dahmer has 2. The problem with this category is like these shows aren't super strong in general, so then trying to figure out like what it would be. Like, do you think Dead Ringers could get in for like a writing nomination?
I don't know, probably not. I feel like that show is just kind of underseen in general.
Do you think that so you think Beef will win? Do you think they're actually, if Fleischman gets in, do you think Fleischman as a series, do you think it would win writing? If it's strong enough to get in for series, I mean.
I don't know. I don't think it's winning series.
I don't think it's winning series either, but do you think if it gets in for series, does that help it make a case to win for writing.
I mean, yeah, you could argue, yeah, but I don't think I would predict it to win. Yeah, it would also depend on how well it does overall too.
Right. And directing for limited series.
Yeah, directing. I think Beef could win that too. Beef just did 2. So they didn't submit Hikari, who did the pilot. But I think they could get both of their episodes in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, Jake Schreier and Lee Sung Jin.
Yeah, Jake did the 9th episode, which of the hostage. I think that's showier than the finale.
Mm-hmm.
But the finale is also showy in a different way, I guess. I think like the 9th one is more action.
Yeah.
I guess.
Daisy Jones has 3, the 3 directors who worked on it: James Ponsell, Nzinga Stewart, and Will Graham.
I think their best episode is the finale. So
I think I interviewed her, so I'm in the tank, but I actually think she would get into the finale. Is great. And like they did them different. Like the first block is like James Ponsell doing like an indie movie, and her block is like, let's do Boogie Nights and Goodfellas, basically. And like, I think it will pay off the flashier episodes at the end. The Will Graham one is the standalone one, I believe.
Is that the one in Greece?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and their episode titles are like track numbers, right? It's like track 10.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that kind of helps for like to flag it as the finale too, if you're not familiar with it. I don't know if I mean, I guess it's fine. They submitted 3, but I would have focused on the finale.
Right. Fleischman again, Me Time, Valerie Faris, and Jonathan Dayton.
Yeah,
and also The Liver, which is the finale, I believe.
Yeah, I think Me Time can get in for both. So like that's their Connor's wedding.
Right. Anything else here? Like a surprise? Do you think like would like Irma Veep get in for directing?
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, I mean I think like probably Leslie Lynn Cook Ladder can get in for Love and Death. She submitted the finale. I think like David E. Kelley could probably get into writing. He wrote the whole thing, so he submits the whole thing.
There's 3, Mrs. Davis. Owen Harris did the pilot. The Heist episode, I believe, with Alethea Jones.
Great episode.
And Great Gatsby 2001, which is the one where they go into I think it's the penultimate episode, maybe, where they go on the boat to find, like, she goes to find the whale with the Grail. This is a real show we're talking about here again.
It's a great show.
Great show. Frederick E. O'Toole.
I think Monster can get in for Silenced, which is their best episode in both categories.
Yep.
But I think they submitted 2 in each, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should have just focused on Silenced.
You've said, like, from an acting standpoint, you're not going to predict the movies. Do you think any of the movies could get in for directing, like Prey or Reality?
No. Sorry.
That's fine.
I mean, like, none of them are like that huge. I think they just need to be just really massive in the consciousness.
Right. What about Obi-Wan for directing Deborah Chow?
DJ nominee?
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like likely, but I don't know. Anything else here I want to look at before I think I have a couple emails we could read. This has been going on for hours. But
listen, we still have a couple weeks to peruse the ballots more. They could also update the ballots too. If someone is like, what am I doing here? Remove me. That's what the West Wing people did when they were submitted for that. It wasn't that special that they did 2 years ago about voting. They were on the ballot initially, and then they're like, no.
That was great.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read some emails? I have at least some.
Yeah.
I'll read one. I'll read 1 or 2. This one's you email us at slugfest@goldderby.com. We've come this far, Joyce. We might as well hear from the people. This one's from Michael. He writes, "Hi there. Your Slugfest are the best. Amazing chemistry and discussions. I actually work in the movie award circle, so it's interesting hearing your theories while also seeing the sausage being made. My question is about The Last of Us. While I'm predicting the show to get in Best Drama, I'm not confident how we'll do above the line. The show is obviously popular and critically acclaimed, but it's also a genre show that is based on a video game. Some of the claim feels like episode 3 residue. It's untested at the guilds, and I wonder if the prediction confidence is boosted by internet stands. Part of me thinks it's the type of show that will join the ranks of Yellowstone, Leftovers, and Walking Dead. How confident are you on how well it will perform, and what is that confidence based on? I worry that Emmy voters will look at The Last of Us and say, I love you, but you are not serious people.
Oh, wow. Words. I mean, we just kind of talked about this.
We
like,
did. I think you would agree with all of that.
I mean, I wouldn't go like that harsh in it. I think it will get probably like in the teens nomination wise. Would you say?
I think so. I think it'll get the writing and directing nominations. I think it'll get Pedro and Bella Ramsey, and I think Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. And beyond that, I'm not
Again, a series.
In series. I'm not convinced like I have it. I'm probably over predicting it for guest actress because I have 3, but it could also get none there. You know what I mean? Like I think it depends on like how much they like it. We'll know by what it gets. Basically, I think a lot of the crafts and the tech stuff is like will be pretty strong because it's such like a tech show, right? Like I think.
Yeah, that's why I think it'll
Like
be
teams.
up there.
Like 17 nominations, would you say?
I don't know, like maybe like 14, 15.
14, 15. Yeah.
I think that also, like you said, depends on like how many guest slots they could pull too. They have a lot of options there. But I think there is real affection for it if you like remove the stand goggles of, you know, fans of the video game who are, you know, very pleased with the show too. I think like, you know, I think it has fans in the industry.
Right.
Love it. Like they've been campaigning and you see that, you know, their peers love the show. Like when it was airing, a lot of them, like a lot of blue checks were very complimentary.
Yes.
Of it. And but yeah, it is genre. I think it has the potential to get, you know, a good amount of nominations, but not win a ton, like I said.
Right.
So yeah, like it is untested because obviously it could not compete at anything yet because it premiered in January.
Right.
So we don't know how it has no awards footprint, literally. So but yeah, I do think there is an element of, you know, the stand-up maybe being overconfident in what it could win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I do have Bella Ramsey in second behind Sarah Snook. So but yeah, I think, you know, like we were talking about with like drama actor, it's like, oh, immediately like Pedro's gonna win because there's 3 Succession guys. But I also think that's partially because like some people just don't want a Succession guy to win.
Right.
So this works with their narrative that they're gonna vote split with 3 people. I don't know. Like, I mean, you have it in second in series, right?
I do.
I have
but I don't think it like I think it's a distant second. Like I would never predict it to win.
Yeah, I have White Lotus in second just because we already have data on it and it won Emmys last year. So but I mean, I think like Last of Us will do well. I think I said this in our column last week. I could see it being like Severance, where I think Severance got 14 last year. And like early on in the season, or like especially after the finale era, like people were very high on it. It had a lot of industry fans too. I remember people thinking it could beat Succession in writing and all this stuff, and obviously it was a contender in directing, and it just won a couple craft wins. You know, it couldn't win directing. Squid Game won directing, even with the Succession vote split. So yeah, I could see that kind of performance for The Last of Us. I do think it's capable of winning some things. I'm not predicting it to win anything above the line yet. I know a lot of people are predicting it or think it could win directing because of the Succession vote split too. So
we'll do one more here, Joyce, and we're going to wrap up because we got to get this uploaded for everybody to listen to and watch. One more question. This one's from Riley. Dear Joyce and Chris, it's been a month or 2 since I last emailed, guys, but I'm still an active viewer of the show. Thanks, Riley. Appreciate it. I wanted to ask you, this is always a fun thought exercise. I wanted to ask you about what you think Beef's chances would be if it had submitted in comedy instead of limited. Personally, I think Steven Yeun and Ali Wong would have been locks for nominations, as this would the series itself. However, I highly doubt any of the supporting contenders would make it in, given how competitive those categories are. As for wins, I doubt even Steven could beat Jeremy Allen White, but I think Ali could have been a strong front runner. I also think Lee Sung Jin could have won comedy writing.
It's pretty on point.
Yeah.
I don't really, I mean, we did discuss Beef competing in comedy when we all thought it was in comedy back in April before it moved.
So the only thing is, so I think I totally agree, and I think Ali would absolutely get in, and I think Steven would too, but that would make comedy actor now even more ridiculous.
So someone would have to miss.
So then who would miss? Who would you put to miss if Steven was comedy based on 5 nominees?
It would just be one of the Martins, I guess.
It would have to be.
Yeah. And then yeah, I think they would both get in. And yeah, I don't think Steven would beat Jeremy.
No, I don't either.
But I agree. I think Ali could probably win comedy actress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's not really set in stone. I know Quinta's in first, but I think she's beatable.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like the comedy supporting category. I mean, we already had enough trouble trying to remove one person from each of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
really tough.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe like one of them could. Maybe like Young Mazzino could have gone in.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I wouldn't predict Maria Bello or Ashley Park.
No way.
No. So.
All right. Well, you can email us at slugfest@goldderby.com. Joyce, this was so much fun. We'll be back, I guess, next week to talk more about these predictions.
After we read more ballots.
Yes. And we'll talk to you then. Bye.